Welcome to a Market Matters video update. Sean, 5-1 recently, seems to be a bit of a market bottom. You called that to perfection. Congratulations. In the more recent reports, you are calling for a bottom in the US, given the bounce we've seen in the last few days. What are you seeing from a broader macro standpoint at the moment?
Well, as I said in this morning's report, I'm 80% sure the US is seeing its low. Prior to a move up to new highs in S&P 500, probably the Dow, definitely the Nasdaq. I think those markets look really, really good. I reckon they'll see another 8 to 10% on the upside. The macro point of view, it's changing all the time, Nick. There's things happening all the time. Are we going to have a rate cut? Are we going to have a slowdown in Europe? Blah, blah, blah. It's changing all the time. All you're looking at is the money flow. The money flow is saying, at the moment, people have sold their US stocks. They wish they hadn't. They're buying them, and they're buying them aggressively. So, no, I think the stocks go higher. I don't see any reason at the moment to be a seller. I think our market is a lot harder. A lot harder. So I think, okay, I'm 80% sure the US makes new highs. I'm pretty comfortable that Europe makes new highs as well. Our market, it probably will. It might get dragged up kicking and screaming, but you've still got iron ore, you've got problems there, you've still got Commonwealth Bank. Okay, Commonwealth Bank looks great around here in the mid-70s. How will it look at 80, 82? People will start to sell it again. So for our market to start to go through 56, everyone's got to start buying all the different sectors. That to me is a lot harder. So I think our market will underperform from here after outperforming on the way down. The US looks good, and it's fun. The markets are moving, and I love the markets moving.
Awesome. And on the Medibank private front, we've had loads of questions, people emailing in, would I buy? What are your thoughts? You have actually, in the most two recent morning reports, you have mentioned it. But are you going to be a buyer yourself? Are you going to take up an allocation of some sort?
No, I'm not. I've got absolutely no interest in Medibank private whatsoever personally. That probably puts me on a bit of an island. I think Medibank Private will probably come on at a 5 or 10% premium. It will be oversubscribed, and I think that you'll make a few dollars. But I have a real problem in my personal chemistry that it might come on with $1.50, $2. There's a 29% discrepancy in what price it will come on at. At $1.70, $1.80, I think it's good buying. I think it goes up. At $2, I'll be really annoyed to be long at $2, and so it's all too hard for me. I don't want to be involved. Do I think overall in the long picture, if Medibank Private was a stock in the market today, would I buy it? No, I wouldn't. I'm very, very concerned about the fact that over the last 2 or 3 years, the number of subscribers of Medibank Private has gone down. That's not growth. Growth can be statistics. Statistics can be played with. The number of people using Medibank Private in the last 2 years has gone down. That is not growth. The whole growth is coming from insurance. Okay, so then we have to look at NIB and other stocks. Let's compare to what is apples and apples. So they have got real issues there going forward with the online space now. The online space, I love it. It's like saying, okay, these new sites are comparing the best place to get the best insurance. Margins are going down. So if that's the case, Medibank, I think, could be a bit tough going forward. So I just don't see a reason to be there. It doesn't excite me. And a little anecdote, I spoke to a doctor friend of mine this afternoon. Most of my clients seem to be doctors and high net worth individuals that I look after their money for. And he said, Sean, I've been in the game for 30 years. The government are not selling an asset. Yeah. They are selling a liability. Now, I shouldn't really say that on tape, but that's what his comment was about Medibank Private. So I thought, okay, that's a bit politically incorrect, but that was his view on Medibank Private. Yeah. So I wouldn't go quite so far, but I just don't see a huge amount of value between $1.80 and $2. So I'm not playing.
Good to hear. Well, also in the press today, there was an article published that was quoting Goldman Sachs saying the next rate cut, the next rate increase or decrease in this country could be a decrease. They're calling for the benchmark index to go below 2.5. What does that do for the yield play longer term? Does that mean that the banks could have another bull run, or you're a bit hesitant?
No, I'm not. I think that the bull run is asking a lot. They've had a huge move. Will it be supported with the banks, Telstra, etc.? Of course it will, and that's why we've been saying all along the way, this is the place to still buy the market. When they come back towards that 6%, fully franked, the Australian economy is in trouble going forward. We've still got huge problems. I know it's a problem. Our balance of payments, it's a problem. Interest rates here are a problem. They're still arguably too high, not because they're too high towards mums and dads, people like me or you. They're too high because the Aussie dollar is too high. It's hurting a lot of people. So if that's the case, the next interest rate move here, it might be a small cut. It won't make a lot of difference, but it won't be a rise that quickly. And more importantly, if they're not going to go up that quickly, what the banks are paying fully franked is still very, very attractive. Yeah. So I think rather than say the next bull run, it'll be extremely supportive and it may give them a big pickup to the new highs.
Yes, awesome. Now, one last thing. We had an email from John today, quite a direct email. He wanted to know if he had, well, he has 10,000 lying around. What if you had 10,000 yourself sitting there in the bank that you had to allocate it into the market today? What would you be looking at buying? What's your favourite pick at the moment?
I think I'd rather go to Vegas for a weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun. But on a serious note, I think we had 20 emails in the first hour yesterday. So this is obviously a time where people are getting quite engaged with the market, and that's quite exciting. I love that, as I mentioned in this morning's report. If I had $10,000 I wanted to put in shares tomorrow, I would probably buy Challenger. I think Challenger at these levels is cheap, and I think going forward it's great value. I love the growth that's there. Challenger, full stop, end of conversation.
Awesome, great. Thanks for that update, Sean.